presents the Midwest #1 independent computer repair company with service centers in Lincoln, Omaha, Papillion, Des Moines, and across the country via the Schrock desk. This is Compute This.
Good morning, folks, and welcome into Compute This. My name is Thor Schrock. I'm the owner of the Schrock Innovations Computer Company. Like the big voice man says, 4 locations to help you out when you're having some computer difficulties. You need some advice or help or security or maybe a new computer, data recovered off of a dying computer. You know, we do it all over at Schrock Innovations. The original location is in Lincoln, Nebraska. It is just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Then in Omaha, we're at 168th and Burke Street, just across the street from the Village Point Shopping Center. In Papillion, the third location, 84th and Highway 370 in the Midlands Place Shopping Center. They got a new website, by the way. That's kind of neat. The fourth location and newest one is in 9500 University Avenue, West Des Moines, Iowa. We have a new employee that we're welcoming into the Des Moines Service Center. So for those of you who frequent Des Moines, if you see a new face in there, it's not Chris's kid or something. It's actually a new employee. So we've had just a terrible time hiring in West Des Moines. We get people, all right, the last person that we hired in West Des Moines interviewed like a dream. Hired this person, got them into the shop. They show up on time. They care about their job. Everything seems to be going great for like 2 days. And then tears. My ops manager comes in. Oh my gosh, why are you crying? And she says, my sister ran away to Mexico with a boy, and now we can't get a hold of her anymore. And Parker's like, oh gosh. He's like, I'm not sure I'm geared to deal with this. Why don't you take the day? Go home and take care of your family. So she did, and then later we didn't hear anything. So we're like, well, did they find this girl in Mexico, or is this like another Natalie Holloway kind of thing? What are we going to hear about here? And so then all of a sudden the next day or that night, Parker checks in with her and he says, hey, how's it going? Did they find your sister? Or did you find your sister? And she's like, oh, yeah, we found her. Turns out she ran off with a boy to Mexico, and we found her down there. And my family's pretty much disowned her, so now I have to go get her. So I'll turn in my shirts when I get back. Like, oh, so now we found her, so we're going to go to Mexico and party for a while. Literally, like, who does that happen to? What employer does that happen to? It happens to Schrock. So we just had a terrible time hiring there. But the good news is we're starting to see some success and get some people in there so that Chris doesn't have to Ironman that place, and that's a good thing to do. 402-558-1110 is the number to join us if you're local here in the Omaha metro area. 888-250-2091. If you pay the long-distance bill, we'll pay it for you. You can be a part of the program, ask a question, make a comment. We'll get your name and number when you call in, and if you win the drawing at the end of the show, we'll get a hold of you and hook you up with a $25 Schrock Innovations gift certificate. Good for anything you want to do in the service center. You can put it toward anything. You can keep it on account, however you want to do it. All right, so last week, if you missed the program, I want to make sure everybody knows that we are streaming live at Facebook. Facebook.com/Schrock Innovations is where you can watch the show live online. Also, that's where you can check out all the videos from last week if you want, both the regular show and the After Schrock. In addition, though, we do post those on our website at SchrockInnovations.com. We did stop posting the After Schrock on YouTube. It was getting too many strikes. You see, YouTube really regulates the stuff you can and can't talk about pretty heavily. So we just decided it wasn't worth risking airing the regular program to air the Aftershock there. So we do still air it on Rumble, and you can find all those videos at SchrockInnovations.com. But if you missed the show last week, we told you about Ford restoring AM radios in all of their 2024 model year cars, gas and electric. I thought the electric motors interfered with the AM radio. Guess they figured that out, those brilliant engineers at Ford. Congratulations, Ford. So we're going to get the AM radios back in all the trucks and cars and everything. Also, we talked about how you can speed up your internet connection, why Hong Kong, China, is becoming the destination for all freedom-loving crypto enthusiasts. And I am not being sarcastic when I say that. I would have never thought I'd be sitting on this radio station and telling you there is actually more freedom in China than America right now. It is ridiculous. So we talked about that. Also, China did ban Micron's U.S.-made memory chips from a security review. They said there's a security vulnerability in these U.S.-made memory chips because they're made in America. And that's why we have to ban them, because they won't let us have AI chips, so we're going to retaliate. So we talked about that on the program as well. Coming up on the show today, guys, just when you think you can't do a better show than last week, that was some great content we had last week. I mean, amazing stuff, right? And then this week, we find out the Guardians of the Galaxy are real. And they visit Earth. And Groot even crashes the ship once in a while, and we recover it for him, because, we're good like that. Can you believe this stuff? Seriously, you get a news report that the U.S. government has crashed alien aircraft, and we've recovered them, and we're trying to reverse engineer these, and we've been doing it for, dozens of years. Now, meanwhile, the current president of the United States is accused of bribery, and the former president of the United States is indicted for a document scandal. And what's everybody talking about? I thought if aliens invaded, it was supposed to bring us all together. Kind of like that big speech that you got on Independence Day from the fictional president guy, and everybody got together and united and fought the alien menace. Nah, I guess that doesn't happen in reality. So, all this stuff going on, and you realize, holy cow, the Guardians of the Galaxy are real. It was a good movie, by the way. Saw it the other day. 402-558-1110, 888-250-2091. Meanwhile, in the world of computer news, we had some other interesting things happen this week as well. A new piece of malware is infecting Android devices. There's an article on ZDNet that I came across, 3 ways to spot a malware-infected app on your phone. The article was garbage, by the way. I don't know, Jada Jones got paid to write this, but 3 ways to... Okay, here's how to know if your phone's infected. Is it hot? Is it slow? Or is it slow? Does it not respond quickly? There you go. Those are your three ways to know if your phone is... What? Okay. I wanted to take some time to reiterate this because we haven't talked about it in a while. We get new listeners every week. I remember when we started this program 20 plus years ago, we literally had to tell people you have to have antivirus on your computer. Now just about everybody knows they have to have it. Some people might know they have to have it, and they might think, I've been fine. I've been going with years without it, never gotten hit with anything. Well, how would you know? Is your device hot? Is it slow? Maybe you're infected. You wouldn't even know if you were infected. Apparently that's how you're supposed to do it with your phone. That's the dumbest advice I've ever heard. So we had to tell people you need antivirus. We had to educate people why they needed antivirus, of all the different types of threats that were out there. And it's hard to do that without scaring the bejesus out of people. You're like, oh yeah, your computer's got a rootkit infection. And even if you wipe the hard drive, you can't get rid of that. That's what those in Iran, when their centrifuges kept blowing up, they had a rootkit infection on their computer. They didn't know to look for the invisible partition that had the virus in it that kept reinfecting the computers. So they kept wiping them and reinstalling everything, and the virus kept coming back, and they had no clue. Well, now everybody knows about rootkit infections. Now we know to scan for them. We check for them. New ways to infect computers are developed out of necessity by governments or bad guys or whatever, or maybe they're the same thing. I don't know. They're all developed out of necessity to infect people's devices, to take control of people's devices, to use your devices to do things that you wouldn't want to do with them, that the bad guys want to do, but they don't want to have traced back to them. Need to launder some credit cards, process some transactions fraudulently, make some fake fraudulent orders at Walmart.com. Why don't we use Betty's computer to do that? When the FBI traces it back to Betty, they ain't gonna. Betty didn't do anything. Won't get traced back to us. Maybe we'll ship it to Phil's house, and then we'll have some guy stand outside that we got off of TaskRabbit to stand out there and pick. That's a real thing, by the way. To stand out there and pick up the boxes for us and take them to another destination. We had this happen at Schrock where we had a phone order come in for like 2 laptops. We filled the order. We had the laptops in stock. The guy said, I'll be right over to pick them up. We didn't think anything of it. We're like, he's coming to pick them up. This is a legit order. We get online orders all the time. And you guys come in to pick them up, so sure, it's legit. So dude shows up, picks up the laptops, takes them out the door. And then all of a sudden we get a charge back on the credit card, that it was a fraudulent charge from some credit card in South Carolina. And we're like, but we gave the laptop, we have a signature here. Doesn't matter, not the customer. They had somebody come and pick it up and then probably ship them somewhere else. So we got scammed out of 2 laptops. And that's why now when you buy a laptop from Schrock, we record your driver's license number. And when we ask people for their driver's license number, it's really awkward when we ask a customer that we know, like, Sally, I need your driver's license number. And she's like, but you've been helping me for 22 years. And you're like, I'm sorry, Sally. Yeah, I know you, but, if I don't fill out the paperwork, I get in trouble with the boss. That doesn't work for me. The other guys can use that one. So anyway, we had to fill out this paperwork. But when we ask somebody we don't know, and they're a delivery driver, like one of these people that was sent to pick up something, they're like, dude, why do you need that? I'm like, oh, because you're responsible for the laptops. We have to record that you're picking them up. So that way, if there is some kind of fraud or issue here, we can trace it back to you. You know what? I just remembered I have to do something. I'll be right back. So, these things happen. We learn. We learn over time how people try to scam us in various ways. We learned over time that people want to get into your computers to do nefarious things, and you have to defend yourself, even if you don't have anything worth defending. That's the biggest reason people say they don't need antivirus software. I don't have anything on my computer that would be worth taking. I don't care. If I get a virus, I'll just wipe it and start over. Okay. Well, what if you don't know you have the virus and your computer is sitting around attacking other computers all day long, and you don't even know it's happening, using your internet connection, your electricity, and your computer to do that? Well, some people don't care. They're like, well, I don't care. And other people are like, okay, that's drawing a line where all of a sudden, my computer's got a camera, my computer's got a microphone. This is going to kind of creepy. I've got other devices on my home network, like my cameras and my doorbells and, my A words. I can't say the A word because if I say the A word, then all the devices will activate across Radio Land. The Alexa devices. There we go. We have all these things on our networks, and they're all vulnerable once something is in the network. And people just don't understand the threat that the 21st century poses to your security, where state actors want to get into your stuff, not because you know state secrets, but because if they can disrupt enough of the internet, or just remember the last major outages that we had on the internet were because Chinese-made video camera systems had default passwords that the customers didn't change when they install. So business buys a $400 camera kit off Newegg or Amazon, sticks it up in their business and says, yeah, I can look at cameras now. And they don't think to change the password, like the default password that comes with it. Well, then bad guys logged into all these cameras all over the internet and then used the camera systems to attack other computers and literally brought down the internet. Do you want your computer to be part of that? No, you don't. So you get antivirus software. But people don't think about their phones. Because the only way to know if your phone is infected is if it's hot. Well, it got hot with the last Apple update. So yes, we have antivirus for phones. We have Sophos for phones. We don't charge the full price that we charge for a computer because it's a phone. It's kind of weird because you do more personal things on a phone than you probably do with your computer. So if anything, it needs to be protected more. But people, for whatever reason, don't believe they need to pay for protection on a phone. They're going to go get a free app from the App Store. This thing that happened, this is a common infection vector. There was a popular screen recording app in Android known as iRecorder. You may remember it or have heard of it. It was extremely popular. iRecorder. It was released into the Play Store in 2021 and was completely legitimate. Then something happened in 2022. There was an update to the app, and all your phones installed that app automatically, or that had that app installed the update automatically. And that update, of course, it's a screen recording app, so you're going to give it permission to look at your screen and your microphone and maybe your camera and whatever else, feeds the screen. So you give it all the permissions in the world. And all of a sudden, this thing can record your calls. It can film you. It can record you. You're getting ransomware things, those weird emails like, we know your password. We see you doing bad things with your phone and you better pay us some Bitcoin. And they're almost always fake. But people who had this iRecorder app, there were actually videos of them from their phones. There were actually audio recordings of their phone calls. How does this happen? Well, all they did is install one simple app that was a legitimate app and then forget it was on their phone. So you can sit and look at all the apps on your phone once a week and go over the internet and just double check and make sure they're all still owned by the same person and legitimate. We all have time to do that. Or you can install Sophos Central on your phone. The Sophos Intercept X technology for your phone We'll check this for you in real time. And as soon as one of these apps, as soon as iRecorder went rogue, your phone's going to go off like a Christmas tree that you have iRecorder on there. It's going to get blocked. Its permissions are going to get revoked until you uninstall it from the phone. So you don't have to worry about these kind of things. And then this stuff doesn't happen to you. People don't realize they got to have this stuff on their phones, and they do. 402-558-1110, 888-250-2091. Also, coming up on the program this week, Schrock Business has saved companies a redonkulous amount of money this week. You know, when we quote business deals like coverage for companies for their IT, and we're competing with other firms that are quoting, sometimes they share the quotes with us, especially after they sign with us, they tell us. So we get an idea of how much money we're saving customers in a week, companies. It's going to blow your mind. Also, Apple has introduced some amazingly innovative, you probably heard about the Vision Pro goggles by now, but what you didn't hear about was all the other things that you're actually going to use every single day on your iPhone, whether you want to use them or not. These technologies are going to change your life. No one has ever thought of these things before. And we're going to tell you all about them here on the program today. There's a little sarcasm there, but it's going to be fun. And also, in this time of inflationary stuff, no one's lowering the prices on anything, right? Because you can't. Because, labor costs 20, 30. There was, the Omaha World Herald ran a CNN syndicated story yesterday. And it said basically that the reason the prices are up on everything you're buying is because of greedflation. And those stories really tick me off because, let me give you a specific example. We added 2 pickup trucks to our company fleet, our fleet of 7 vehicles. So it's a huge fleet, you see. 2 pickup trucks so that we could do more pickups, more drop-offs, make sure that we get you the service that you need. Insurance rates are so much higher now. So our previous policies were grandfathered in, so we didn't know that the prices had gone up this much. We added 2 vehicles. We are paying $14,000 a year to insure 2 pickup trucks. When our auto insurance bill doubled from adding 2 vehicles, I called my agent. And my agent's like, hey, Thor, I know it's ridiculous, man. I agree with you 100%. This is stupid. But it is what it is, just how things are now. He gave me the name of another agent to shop those 2 vehicles to. Can you believe that? When's the last time your insurance agent told you to take your business to another insurance agent to get a rate because the rates were so ridiculous? That's what businesses are dealing with. 30% increase in labor, doubling of insurance costs, rents are up, and you sit and say greedflation. That really ticked me off. So one of the things that I always talk about when we're doing it here is when we can find a way to be more efficient. And I don't mean like we're using ChatGPT or something to recover your data, but when we can become more efficient in the data recovery labs, we pass that value on to our customers. So we're going to tell you about what's happening to the pricing in the data recovery lab coming up on the show here today as well. 402-558-1110, 888-250-2091. Quick break. And when we come back, we'll tell you all about the ridiculous amount of money that Schrock Business saved companies here in the metro area coming up next on Compute This.
Now you can configure and purchase laptops, desktops, tablets, and more, all at the new SchrockInnovations.com. Check out our specials for one-of-a-kind discounts and deals. Schrock Innovations has spent nearly 2 decades working to make your technology life easier, and SchrockInnovations.com is no exception. Now you can order new modular computers and solid-state laptops directly from our website, find innovative new technologies like our modular storage devices, and get free help and tips. Take a look at the specials section to find sales on one-of-a-kind items, display models, refurbished units, and our latest special offers. Swing by the Compute This page to watch TV segments and archived radio shows, or even get one-on-one help through the Schrock Desk. As always, we respect your privacy, so we secure our website with the latest encryption technology and only the most secure payment methods. You can pick up your purchases at any of our 3 service centers or have them shipped directly to your door. SchrockInnovations.com makes technology simple. It's what we do. And now Compute This Pro tip number 373. Everyone knows we're supposed to back up our computers and then check those backups periodically to make sure they're working. So why don't most people do it? Lots of people have different ideas about what backing up means. Is it copying files to a flash drive? Is it using a fancy backup program? And how do you know it's working anyway? Windows makes backups easy through free software that's already on your computer. Open your control panels and click Update and Security. Select Backup and choose from all of the available options to get a regular, reliable checkup. You'll need something to back up to, like a Schrock modular storage device or some other backup hard drive. Backups usually run once a week, but you can always change the frequency. The best part is that if your backup ever fails, you'll see a notification in the lower right corner by your clock telling you something's up. Backing up your important data has never been easier, so take a moment to back up your computer today. This pro tip brought to you by Schrock Innovations Computer Company.
Alrighty, guys, welcome back into Compute This. My name is Thor Schrock. I'm the owner of the Schrock Innovations Computer Company, 402-558-1110. Edgy music this morning, kind of like it. Happy Sunday morning. 888-250-2091. All right, so I mentioned real quick, it's going to be a short segment because I went really long on the intro there. But that's okay because this is a short thing to talk about. When companies buy things, they expect to pay more than consumers. That's just the way the world works. So when I buy auto insurance for my two vehicles, you probably aren't paying $14,000 to insure two pickup trucks. But businesses are, because businesses get charged more than consumers do. When businesses go to buy a server is just a computer. It costs $10,000. Oh my gosh. When you go buy a computer that uses a server, you can get away with spending $1,500 on one because you're a consumer. Businesses are businesses. So when a business goes to buy IT services, when they go to one of the big companies in town and they tell them all the hardware they need and the firewalls they need and the high-end servers and the Windows licenses and the Active Directory support and everything else that they're going to have to run their 4-person chiropractic office, you're telling me I'm going to have to spend $20,000 on hardware and then I'm going to have to spend $7,000 a month for support? And then Schrock Business rolls in. And we're like, how many computers do you have? And they're like, well, we've got these 4 that people use, and we've got like 10 other ones that are like, rando stations at different areas of the business that we can log into and use if we are in that general vicinity. But we only have 4 people using it at a time. You know what? You don't have to justify how you use your technology to us. That's fine. How many computers do you have? We multiply that times 425, and that's your annual price for your service agreement. 425 times the number of computers you have. So if you own a business right now, I want you to do the quick math. I don't even know you. I don't know who you are. I don't know what you do. I don't know how much greedflation you have, bolstering your bottom line. 425 a computer times the number of computers in the service center or in your business, and that's your annual price that you pay for support. When you have to call us out, it's a flat rate $150. Doesn't matter if we bring 2 techs. Doesn't matter if we're there all day. Doesn't matter if it's before 8 o'clock or after 8 o'clock. $150 flat rate for a service call. Whether we come out, whether we do it online, when you need help, we are there. We are there immediately, and it costs $150. Do you need security software for your stuff? Well, we can provide that too. And guess what? You pay the exact same price consumers do, because what we have done for our consumers is we took business-grade antivirus and security software and made it available to consumers. It's not a stretch to make the business-grade stuff available to businesses. It doesn't cost us any more. So we charge the same price for it. It seems to make a lot of sense, and businesses are loving it. Jeff, our director of corporate services for Schrock Business, is just going crazy. He's one of the guys we had to buy a truck for because he was driving his personal vehicle and he was racking up the miles because he was going to all these meetings and signing all these clients and doing all these onboardings, and we're like, okay, we got to get him a truck. So we got him a truck, and I didn't know it was going to break the bank from the insurance premium, but maybe we'll have to raise that to $450 a computer just to pay for the vehicle insurance. I don't know. But right now it's $425 per computer per year, $150 flat rate for a service call for business customers. I know a lot of you don't own businesses and you probably don't care, but what I'm pointing out is our economy is changing. There's a lot that's happened with the interest rates that has not hit the economy yet. It's going to take another 8 to 12 months for us to fully realize the impact of 5% interest rates on this economy. And now there's rumblings from the Fed board, they're going to raise again because inflation is still not under control. talked on Thursday on the air about how, wow, and when Reagan was president, he got the rates all the way down to 10%, and it was a victory. Down to 10%. It can get worse. So in the meantime, as a business owner, we're trying to keep our powder dry. We're trying to make sure that we have money in the bank so that we can weather a storm. And Schrock Innovations helps small and micro businesses do that by helping you not only lower your technology costs that you're already paying when you go to renew that annual contract, but we also ensure that you can budget the exact cost. How many incidents do you think you have with your computers in a quarter? 3, maybe? 1 a month? Well, now at $150 an incident, you know exactly what your IT support's going to cost you. And therefore, you can budget it, and you can have some certainty in your IT life that you don't have now at a much lower price. And we're happy to do the work because the work is the same work that we do every day for everybody else. Doesn't matter whether we have a sysadmin working on it or we have a break-fix technician working on it. It's the same to us. But, maybe we're just stupid and we should be charging you 3 times as much. I don't know. We figured we'd try this low price thing first and see if it worked, whatever. 402-558-1110, 888-250-2091. Patricia, Cheryl, stay on the line. Your call's coming up next on Compute This.
Today's fragile computers need maintenance more than ever. Your computer needs a maintenance checkup every 6 months to last beyond its 18-month expected lifespan. Some people like desktops for their power and upgradability, but nothing rivals a laptop for computing on the go. But why should you have to sacrifice performance for portability? The innovators at Schrock want our customers to have it all, so we created a new kind of laptop, the solid-state laptop from Schrock Innovations. Solid-state laptops are built using the same frame and mainboards as regular laptops, but we've removed half of the moving parts while more than doubling the computer's speed. The result? Laptops that boot to Windows in 6 seconds or less, respond instantly to your commands, and can survive drops that put most laptops into the data recovery lab. Starting at only $499, solid-state laptops give you speed, reliability, durability, and performance for the same price most people pay for a cheap disposable laptop. The next time you're looking for a laptop, check out the solid-state laptops at SchrockInnovations.com or visit any of our service centers. Simple, solid, fast technology is what we do at Schrock. Compute This Pro Tip 299. There are enough mothballed computers in U.S. homes to give one to every man, woman, and child in the country. Many of these computers find their way into landfills where they can leak cadmium, lithium, and other nasty chemicals into the groundwater. Schrock Innovations is very proud of the fact that we recycle more e-waste every year than we create. You can drop off any old or broken computer equipment to our service centers at any time, free of cost. We only charge $15 just for monitors because they are especially difficult to process. No appointment is required, and we accept all computer-related equipment like printers, keyboards, speakers, and accessories. Additionally, the rare earth elements in computers can be recycled right here in the U.S. to reduce our reliance on supplies from foreign countries. Take a moment, drop off your old computer equipment today, and Schrock will make sure it's properly recycled and put to good use right here in the U.S. This pro tip brought to you by Schrock Innovations Computer Company.
Alrighty, guys. Thanks for sticking with us through the break there. Appreciate you hanging on. My name's Thor Schrock. I'm the owner of the Schrock Innovations Computer Company, and you're listening to Compute This. We're here 402-558-1110 or 888-250-2091. Also, broadcasting live on Facebook at facebook.com/Schrock Innovations. Mary's here, Roger's here, Aaron's here. Aaron says, I am Groot. I love it. Craig is here. Good morning from Slovakia. Whoa, that might be a record, Craig. Welcome aboard. So love to have you all here. Aaron says we should put a tip jar next to the cash registers for donations to the Employee Official Work Vehicle Insurance Fund. Oh, my gosh. Tipflation is a real thing, too. Have you noticed this, especially because everyone's using these Square terminals now that automatically ask for tips, even if it's, like, stupid? Like, if the person – I'm trying to think of a good example here. Like, I go to a Stom Chocolatier in Shadow Lake in Papillion. You go in there and you buy yourself a couple bonbons, little candies. They call them bonbons there. My son likes my 15-year-old son or 16-year-old son loves the rum flavored ones. I don't know if I should be worried about that or if he's a pirate or what. And he got his 5-year-old brother hooked on him too. So they're like, Dad, I want some rum candy. And I'm like, oh, stop saying that at church, kids. It's like, I'm not giving them rum, I promise. But you go in there and you buy your 4 or 5 bonbons and you go to the register and you pay your $10 or whatever, and it pops up and asks you if you want to leave a tip for the person who put the bonbons in a bag and handed them to you. I mean, it's not like they're a waitress getting paid $2 an hour. I don't know. I don't like tip jars, and I'm not comfortable. Like, we have customers that insist on tipping our people, like when they carry things out for them and stuff. And my people are trained the polite rule: 1 refusal. No, I'm sorry, we don't accept tips. And if the customer is insistent, you don't insult them by refusing. You just take the tip. And then we stick it in a pizza fund, and we have a pizza party or something. I don't know how big the pizza fund is, but it's one of those things where it's like we don't solicit tips. So, Aaron, I hear what you're saying. I don't know. I'm not comfortable with the tip jar though. I don't like to ask people for that kind of stuff. 402-558-1110. Patricia, welcome to the program. What have you got for me today on Compute This?
Yes, I was calling because I've heard that in the Orient, a lot of people simply use smartphones instead of using any other kind of computers.
Oh, yeah.
What's your comments about doing something like that?
Well, it's not just happening in other countries. It's happening here, too. There's a lot of people that they may have a computer still, but they very rarely use it. So here's the thing. When you're using a mobile device, like a phone or a tablet, Steve Jobs famously said when he looked at the iPad, what's it for anyway? Like, what can you actually do with it? How is it any different than a phone? It's not a computer because you can't create anything on it. I mean, you can make a video on it, but it's not going to look as good as a video you make on a computer. And you can write a book on it, but have you ever tried to type for an extended period of time on that keyboard?
Right.
with one little meat stick, tapping away. It's one of those things where people who consume content don't have a problem switching to a mobile platform typically. It's people that create content. And when I say create content, I mean people who send a lot of emails, people who, send photos to people who, will take a video and slice it down or post it or do whatever. Computers are uniquely designed. Like when I take the Compute This shows and I hack up the segments a little bit to give a 2-minute. The lovely Kimberly insists I can't call it a Schrock Quickie anymore. I can't call it a Compute This Quickie. She's like, that's not appropriate. And I'm like, but it's not a Compute This minute because it's like 3 minutes. It's not like a clip because she goes, I don't know. A quickie was like it gets the point across, right? It's like what you would normally take you 15 minutes to listen to. All the random neurons are cut out of it, and then this is the meat and potatoes right here. Like maybe I'll call it the Compute This meat and potatoes.
A lot as far as audio visual on a computer, as opposed to like you wouldn't be able to do much with that on the smartphone. Also, do you folks work on smartphones yourself at Schrock?
Great question. My guys have all the skill set required and the tools required to do all the work you could imagine to a phone or a tablet, and we do work on iPads from time to time. A lot of Surface tablets come in.
Well, like an iPhone or something like that. Would you work on something like that, or refer us to somebody else?
We would work on it. The challenge that we have is that in some cases, some models of iPhone, it's going to be cheaper for you to take it somewhere else, and we will tell you that. We'll literally say we're happy to do the work for you, but I don't know how like the cell phone guy in the mall stays in business. Because the prices that they charge for what they're putting in, unless there's just no service or support behind it, like good luck with the part. If it goes bad, you're on your own. I don't understand how they stay in business. I do the math on some of these Fix-It stores, and I'm like, you have a 1,500 square foot store. I know what that costs where you're at, and we're talking $3-4 grand a month in rent minimum. And how many phones at $60 a piece do you have to fix just to make the rent back? Let alone the insurance and the labor and the phones and the internet and the website and the marketing, and the list goes on and on and on. I mean, how are you possibly profitable? And so one of the things we thought, because that's what's happening now, all the Fix-It stores are starting to fix computers because they can't make enough money fixing mobile devices. Because that's the other thing with a mobile device too. If the price to fix it goes over a couple $100, it's not like everything's not cloud backed up, so you can just get a new device and just restore everything. So, so in other words, to answer your question, we don't really market that we do that. It's not something you're going to find on our website, but it is something that we are capable of doing.
Oh, I have one other recommendation.
Yeah, absolutely.
For you. You were crying over the high car insurance rates. Well, they did a survey not so long ago that Omaha supposedly had the worst drivers in the United States of any city.
I don't know. I just drove through Georgia. I don't know about that.
So, but what I did with my car insurance was I just dropped the collision insurance on it, as long as you got good drivers that are driving for your company. I don't know about that. And obviously, I mean, you can't do anything about the worst drivers in the world here in town.
Yeah.
But my car insurance for 6 months was just $133, if you can believe that. So.
Oh, yeah. For consumer rates, it's great. Where you get in trouble with the business is, all right, so you have a pool of drivers. And so, basically, which 20-year-old kid is going to be driving the vehicle? So it's like, imagine you had 15 teenagers, and they have one house car, and all 15 of them are going to potentially drive the car at some point. Yeah, and it gets kind of hairy. Thanks for the call, Patricia. I appreciate you joining us on the program today, and your comments. We got you in the drawing as well there, 402-558-1110, 888-250-2091. Cheryl, thank you for sticking on the line. I appreciate your patience there. How can I help you on Compute This?
Hi, Thor. I need to bring my computer in for the preventative maintenance, and I wondered how long will you have it?
Oh, it's a perfect time to do it right now. This is the middle of our summer slow season. Everything slows down in all IT everywhere during the summertime because, people get out and they do things. They go on vacations and they get out from behind their screens and they quit breaking their stuff. So we see a slowdown. So right now you're looking at 24 to 48 hours to have that thing back into your hands.
Great. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Cheryl. Appreciate your call today as well. Keith, welcome to the program. What have you got for me on Compute This?
Well, I've got a couple questions. One, I got a holiday special, I think in December of 21.
Okay.
22, 21. And when my wife plugs it in and it stays plugged in too long, it tells her to unplug it.
Oh, it's a laptop.
Yeah, it's a laptop.
That'd be really awkward if that was a desktop. Wait, you want me to unplug it?
It absolutely would be.
It told me to.
Yeah, but is that normal? Because I leave my work laptop plugged in all the time.
It sounds like one of the ASUS battery management utilities got installed. So when you get a computer from us, we zap the hard drive and we install bare Windows, the drivers that you need, and none of the bloatware that you don't want. Now the ASUS bloatware is starting to come down as Windows updates. And so sometimes it'll ask you if you want to manage the battery. If that's something that's bothering her, first of all, you don't have to worry about it. You're not going to hurt the battery by leaving it plugged in all the time. There's no right way or wrong way to handle the battery. It's going to last as long as it lasts, and when it starts to die, it'll start to swell. And that's one of the reasons why in the new Drive Advisor product, we're building in a battery alert utility to tell you when it's time to replace your battery in your laptop. But you don't have to worry about it. And in fact, if it gets to be annoying, there's probably a piece of software that we can remove or disable from the computer that will stop that alert from popping up for her. And we're happy to do that over the Schrock desk for her. No sweat.
Okay. All right. And second, on my iPhone, I have a different email than because I can't download any apps because I forgot my password to my iPhone.
My mom's in the same boat.
What's that?
My mom's in the same boat with her Gmail account.
Okay. So is there anything I can do to shortcut that? Or
well, you have to do a password reset. And so the reason that it's trouble for my mom is because the phone number for her to receive her authentication message for the reset is a landline that she no longer has. And so she can't reset it because they'll call the phone number and the phone number will never get to her. She'll never get the message and she can't authenticate. There isn't a human to talk to, so it was just easier for her to open a new Gmail account and then start life over again, basically. So long story short, we got to reset that password to get you access to that account. There isn't a way to transfer the purchases from one account to the other account. Now, the problem that you have is you have two accounts right now. So if you've made purchases on the second account, the same thing applies in the other direction. We can't transfer the purchases from your new account back to the old account. So we just got to figure out which of these accounts has the most value in what's been bought on it. Then we have to reset the password if it's the old one to get you access to it again, then get it on the phone and get it going. A lot of times Apple will let you reset the password if it's an Apple ID using another Apple device that you might have, whether that be a phone or a tablet, like an iPad, for example, or a MacBook. You can do those as well to reset that.
Would my wife's phone work with that?
Possibly. It depends how you set it up in the beginning. And that's the trick. Okay. It has to be other devices associated with the same email address. So if you're all associated with the same email, then you're good to go. And if you're not, well, then not.
Okay, so we're not.
Yeah, and so we can go through all the...
I need to...
Oh, go ahead.
I need to go to that iPhone store and ask them for help.
Yeah, you could try that. But don't just show up there. You need to make an appointment online. It takes about a week to get in.
Right.
All
Okay.
Right. Thank you for the call, Keith. I appreciate you calling into the program. 402-558-1110, number to join us on the show, 888-250-2091. Going to take our final break of the program here. When we come back, I'm going to tell you about some cool new tech that Apple has introduced. It's so new. It's so fresh. It's going to blow your mind. And we're going to tell you about it coming up next on Compute This.
Schrock Innovations can't teleport technicians to you, but online help is only a click away with the Schrock Desk. Subscribe today and get unlimited help whenever you need it. In 1798, Eli Whitney's Connecticut Musket Factory was the first business in North America to use replaceable parts in a firearm. Before Eli's factory, if your musket broke, you had to send it away to an expert gunsmith for repairs, or just toss it and buy a new musket. Technology manufacturing has come a long way since the 18th century, but you wouldn't know it by looking at today's big box store computers. Dell, HP, Sony, and other manufacturers continue to take away your freedom to upgrade and repair your computer by eliminating expansion and repair options. Some desktops are even powered by a tiny laptop adapter. Schrock Innovations believes in Eli Whitney's idea of interchangeable and replaceable components, and that's why our custom-built modular computers last longer and cost less to repair than computers you see at big box stores. Ask your friends and family how often they replace their box store computers, and they'll probably tell you every couple of years. And what do they do with the old machines? They just get thrown out like broken muskets. Imagine a place where your computer's problems can be fixed quickly and inexpensively. Imagine keeping your computer for 6 years or more. You are imagining the kind of computers we build every day at Schrock Innovations. Our modular systems last longer, perform faster, and cost less over the long term than anything you can buy at a big box store. While the talented technicians at Schrock Innovations can't make you a musket even if they tried, our commitment to the freedom offered by modular computers is the modern-day extension of Eli's innovative musket factory. We think Eli Whitney would be proud, and you can take pride in owning a small piece of American innovation. The modular computer from Schrock Innovations. Compute This Pro Tip 843. Of all computer failures, the scariest and most expensive is the hard drive. But there are some steps you can take to save money and save your data before it's too late. Detecting failures early is important, so install a free utility like Drive Advisor from driveadvisor.com to monitor your hard drive's health and receive warnings when there's a problem. But most of all, hard drive failures happen slowly, so early detection is key to reducing the repair bill. Second, if your hard drive makes any unusual noises, immediately turn off your computer and do not turn it on again. These issues are physical problems, and the more you try to use it, the worse the damage becomes. Remember that most computer repair shops do not have the specialized equipment needed to recover data from a failed drive. Never open your drive or allow anyone else to do so. Open drives always cost more to recover. Schrock does not charge for data recovery evaluations and quotes, so let the local pros look at your drive before you make any recovery decisions. This pro tip brought to you by Schrock Innovations Computer Company.
Alrighty, folks, welcome in. Final segment of the program today. But guess what? The show doesn't have to end at the top of the hour. You can join us for the After Schrock at facebook.com/Schrock Innovations, where, you know, we talk about all the stuff that we didn't get to on the program or stuff that doesn't necessarily fit with the program, just weird life stuff. And you can, it's like an Ask Me Anything. You can ask any questions you want. We answer them. It's good stuff. A lot of fun all the way around. Facebook.com/Schrock Innovations. Give me, 5 or 6 minutes to get reset here at the top of the hour. I have to go fill up my water and get in and go to the bathroom and stuff and stretch my legs a little bit and then come back, sit down, and we'll do an aftershock. 402-558-1110, 888-250-2091. So you probably heard about Apple this week with the Worldwide Developers Conference, introducing some amazing new technologies, those Vision Pro, ski goggle things with the big battery you have to have in your pocket that goes up on a big cord to your head. Gives you 2 hours of battery life to use those things. They didn't want to make virtual reality glasses because they were concerned that people could only wear them for so long, before you start to have like an impact. You don't want to wear. Most people who do VR gaming can't wear the headsets for extended periods of time because it's not comfortable. And, when you take them off, you feel kind of, augmented reality is great. Apple went for something called mixed reality, but they didn't call it mixed reality because no one knows what mixed reality is, and they didn't want to have to explain it to people. The way that Tim Cook explained it was the same way the Mac introduced you to personal computing, and the iPhone introduced you to mobile computing. Vision is going to introduce you to spatial computing. The idea that you put these goggles on and you can see the world around you, and there's overlays like a HUD in a video game over the top of everything, tells you what's going on. Or you can go opaque with them and use the goggles as a screen. So literally it's like your computer screen. And Apple thinks this is the way that we're going to compute in the future, that we're all going to wear. And of course, the goggles are ridiculous right now. I mean, don't get me wrong, they're a marvel of technology. Dual 4K screens, one for each eye, 300 micron pixel width. I mean, it's impressive stuff. Stuff that's never been done before. In fact, when you go opaque, it's imagine you have this guy looking around the room, looking at his computer screens, but you can't see his eyes, right? So it's kind of creepy as a dude with like ski goggles on that you can't see through. Like imagine if you were wearing mirrored ski goggles at work, at your desk. You people might think you're a little weird. So Apple solved that by putting cameras inside that film your eyes and then project your eyes on the outside of the goggles. So imagine if we would have had that for masks, that just project your mouth on the outside of the mask and you're good to go. But that's not what the best tech was from all the announcements. The best stuff was the stuff that you are actually going to use on your actual iPhone and iPad coming up soon with iOS 17. Number 1, no more ducking. When you're typing that word that sounds like ducking but starts with a different letter, and Apple says, you can't say those bad words, and says ducking instead. I don't know what to have for ducking dinner. What is he even talking about? He wants duck for dinner? I don't know what he means. No more ducking. Apple's going to allow you to curse now in your text messages. In fact, if you curse a lot, Apple's going to learn that about you by creeping through your phone and messages regularly. And then when they learn this about you, they're going to allow certain curse words to automatically go through without an autocorrect. So if you say ducking a lot, duck this, duck that, it's going to allow you to say, the words that I can't say. Number 2, predictive text. This is something that Android has had for a long time, but now when you're typing something, a lot of people tend to type the same things over a period of time. We're very repetitious in what we do. So if you're typing something, and if you use Gmail, you've seen this, if it tries to guess the next word you're going to type, or maybe even the next series of words, the next phrase. Well, I'm desperately hoping that Apple combines these two features into one epic super feature that suggests truly sailor-worthy curses to replace ducking. Like, I want some nasty, nasty curses. If you're going to do predictive text and figure out what I want to say before I say it, come up with some good curses. So that was kind of funny stuff. But probably the best thing, this is actually something that my wife is going to use, that my son will probably use, that you will probably use on your iPhones. Have you ever had somebody call you and you send them to voicemail because you don't recognize the number? Then you listen to the voicemail later and you're like, oh, I should have answered that. It was my daughter's doctor's office or something. Well, now what you can do is you can send the call to voicemail, and then if the person's leaving a voicemail, it transcribes it on the screen of your phone for you as they're leaving the voicemail in real time. And then if you decide, holy biscuits, I should have answered that call. Duck it. I should have answered that. if you're thinking that, then you can tap answer, and you can answer the call while they're leaving the voicemail in real time. Now, those of us who have been around the block a few times might recognize this concept. Apple has reinvented, reimagined, reinvigorated the 1980s answering machine. It's literally an answering machine. I remember my mom, she worked for UP, and like if it's your day off and somebody calls out sick, the railroad can call you and you have to come in on your day off if you answer the phone. If you don't answer the phone, well, maybe you never got the message, Maybe they can't hold you accountable for that. It was your day off. Well, my mom would screen her calls to that answering machine. Now you can do that with your iPhone too. So railroad workers of the world can unite in the joy that will be having their days off guaranteed once again. 402-558-1110, 888-250-2091. Richard, welcome to the program. What have you got for me on Compute This today?
Okay, I got a question for you.
Okay.
I'm going to be upgrading my Dell 9720 laptop.
Oh, wow.
And, yeah. And my question is, what would you recommend for RAM and M.2 SSD for manufacturers? I've worked with Kingston in the past for RAM, but I'm uncertain about the M.2 drives.
Gotcha. All right. So if you're upgrading the M.2 drive and you're looking, it depends what you're looking for. If you're looking for speed, the king of speed is Samsung. They're the fastest M.2 drives out there. There are some Kingston drives that will give them a run for their money, the higher end Kingston drives. It's what we used in the holiday special last year because they were just a hair faster than the Samsungs. 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. The prices of those things have come down so much. The bigger thing, though, to think about is capacity. Because what ends up happening as a solid state hard drive gets more and more full, it will actually, the wear and tear will become more intense on the drive. So you don't want your solid state to get more than 80% full. So if you have a 500 gig hard drive and you're rocking 80% full, you should buy a terabyte. So be more concerned with the capacity than the speed on that. But just about any Gen 3 drive is going to work for you. A Gen 4 drive would be amazing.
Well, on my M.2 drive, I was looking at 4 terabytes.
Oh, gotcha. So yeah, the other thing I'll caution you is make sure you check with Dell first to make sure your laptop will recognize those 4 terabyte drives. I know like our Asus laptops won't go up to 4 terabytes. They just don't recognize it.
I already know for a fact that the maximum on the specs is 2 4 terabyte M.2 drives. Maximum on RAM is 64 gigabytes.
Gotcha. All right. So then when it comes to memory, the bigger thing there is people don't realize memory has a speed. And so what we need to find out is what's the maximum speed the laptop can go.
On the memory, it's DDR5, and if I remember correctly,
5200.
I think it's 4800.
Okay, so don't buy the 5200. Don't spend the money on it because it's not going to do you any good. Buy the 4800 and go with that. So basically, those are the things you want to pay attention to. Thank you for the call, Richard. I appreciate you being on the program. Jim, sorry I didn't get to your call. Hang on the line there, and I can answer any questions you might have after the program ends here. Today's winner is Keith. Congratulations. You've got yourself a $25 Schrock Innovations gift certificate. We'll get Marissa will get a hold of you here on Monday and get that added to your Schrock account. Don't forget to stay tuned for the Aftershock coming up here next at facebook.com/Schrock Innovations. Remember, it's a great time to bring those computers into the service centers during our summer slowdown sales event. We'll see you again next Sunday, guys.
From the Amish Furniture of Nebraska studio, your home for made in the USA furniture. This is News Radio 1110.